I'm Nicholas Penrake, and you're listening to A Trader's Life, the podcast where I get to talk to successful traders about their approach to trading, how they started out and went from broke or breaking even to pulling in thousands of dollars a week. Trading is a tough game. They say only around 5% of those who try actually make a profit. Join me for A Trader's Life to glean some valuable insights from the market wizards I get to talk to. I have with me today Alexandru Bostan from Romania, a trader, also a public speaker. Hi, Alex. How's it going?
Hello. Very good. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, it's been a tumultuous week. So, going back to the beginning, if you like, how did you get into trading? What drew you to it?
It happened in UK. So when I was in UK, honestly, for all my life, I didn't think it's possible to trade. So I was always thinking you need some kind of long and expensive university to go there, because I knew this for a long time. I was familiar with trading, and one day I've been to a seminar, to a Gary Vaynerchuk seminar, and there was this guy there explaining some stuff, how you can trade and this and that. He was actually explaining how moving average works. And since then, I started to study, and I found out that the internet is full of trading, full of trainings and videos and stuff. So this was 2 years ago. This was there will be 2 years, in fact, in December.
Yeah. So, did you sign up to a mentor or just general education from brokers and YouTube?
So I started with general education. I found some course on Udemy University and some videos on YouTube, books. I read a lot of books. And in January 2020, I got into a mentorship, so I signed in with a mentor, and I've been there since then.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
a 12-month mentorship, something like that, and
Yeah.
it will finish this year.
Okay. And what books did you find really useful? Can you remember the titles of any?
Well, not too many books, to be honest. From technical analysis stuff, I didn't find any of the books good for trading. So I think they're very old and very outdated. But from the other ones, so right now I'm looking at my shelf, what remained there. So I have Market Wizards, the three books. So Market Wizards, the new Market Wizard, and Hedge Fund Market Wizards. All three of them, they're very good. And I still have Trading in the Zone, which is good for psychology. Trading in the Zone and Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I have it. So that's it. I think those are the only books that I would recommend that got something. They got something from me.
Yeah. Talk us through the first trades and, what did you start with? Was it typically traders start with forex? Did you start like that?
I started with indices, with the S&P 500 and Dow Jones. So after that time, it was so since December that year, 2018, until uh, December 2019. For me, it was just research and going from one thing to another, finding out how big is the trading world and all the assets and commodities, stocks, indices, and forex. So I basically checked them all, and then in September last year, I'm looking now to slowly check into indices again and futures maybe.
Okay, so you got burnt, did you, with indices? Because I mean, it's great when they're moving in your direction, but it's not so funny when they're not.
Yeah, no, it was okay with indices. I actually made
Yeah.
profit,
Okay.
but I also got burned, but not because of the indices. I got burned because of my um, lack of trading management and stuff. So I also been lucky. So I made money because I've been lucky. and then I lost them because I didn't have a good psychology and trading management. So I opened an account with £500, and imagine that I put in 2 trades that I was risking on those 2 trades around 80% of my account, something like that. So they had a stop loss of they had a stop loss of around £200 each. I mean, the maximum that the broker was allowing me. I had the stop loss, and I've been lucky. I did about 2 to 1, something like that, in a few days, and I had like 1,500. Then a few other trades, I made like £2,000, let's say, because it was all about money. Then I wasn't talking about percentages and stuff. And then I lost like £1,600 in 2 trades where I put like an £800 stop loss, and I just gave it
Yeah.
back.
And
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah, it
crazy, isn't it?
was very crazy,
Yeah.
but it got me
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. How long was it before you went from, ups and downs, big ups and downs, to like breaking even or losses to making even profits?
So in that moment, I closed my account with around £500 in profit. So I put in £500 and I took out £1,000, something like that, maybe a little more, £1,050. And I started to demo trade on forex, because I immediately seen that forex, you cannot play around with forex like that, like we play with indices. Forex will burn you immediately. And
Yeah.
but in that period, I quit my job in UK where I was working. I was working in Jaguar Land Rover as in design and engineering, and I quit my job and I joined a prop trading company in London, where I made some kind of course. It was basically everything that I learned before from the books, like technical analysis with trend lines and indicators and price patterns. It was disappointing for me because it was nothing new, like nothing
Yeah.
that made sense.
Yeah, when you say you joined a trading company, do you mean, like education? You don't mean working as a trader, right? In an institution?
Education education and money. So it's a prop trading company. So it's a proprietary trading company from London. There are many of them. So they give you basically all the programs are the same. They give you some kind of training, and after that they give you an account, like a $10,000 account from hedge fund affiliated funds like
Yeah.
FTMO, something like that, or the Fivers. Those are prop trading companies from online, and they give you a
Okay.
10,000 K account, and you have to make 6%, for example, for the evaluation, and then you receive like 50% of the profits. After that, they give you $40,000, and when you make 10%, it doubles all the time. Like you make 10%, and they give you 80K, then they give you 160K, and you stop at $1.2 million. So that's the model. So they give you trade
Okay.
their money.
How did you persuade them that you were worth taking on?
Uh, I didn't persuade them at all. So those prop trading
Oh, okay.
companies, they don't. You don't need to persuade them because you have to pay for the course, and you have to pay if you stay at their office. So you have to pay for there is a monthly fee if you wanna stay inside their office. So they really have you under heat, to put it like that. So you have to
Okay.
take their
And so was
course.
that quite expensive?
Uh,
Quite a lot of pressure because you pay for this and then you still have to make money and then you get a small slice of whatever you
Yes,
make. Yeah.
so this puts a lot of pressure on you, which is not good if you're a beginner. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
This is my experience speaking now, and yeah, you can basically get that from the internet. You don't have to join a prop trading company. But I found this after that. That wasn't necessary to go to. Yeah, yeah. It looked like you said. How do you persuade them? I was thinking about that. Okay, I have to persuade them, but it was my mistake. I didn't do my research to find out that
Yeah.
you can find funds very easily on the
Yeah.
internet
Yeah.
everywhere.
Tell me about perhaps the process of turning things around? So, you went through these various experiences. What was the turning point? Obviously, risk management was a thing. It's a thing for every trader. What do you think helped you with that side of things, eliminating some of those losses and maintaining good profit?
One thing that I noticed immediately in trading, and it was always like bugging me, but I ignored it. It was the information part, the technical analysis part, because it didn't make sense to me ever that why should a trend line work, or why should the price pattern work, or an indicator. Like, it was too easy to be true all the time for me, and this is what changed everything now. So I went from losing or breaking even by mistake, or winning by only by being lucky, to making good trades. So it was the training. So it was mentorship I joined, and I learned what really moves price, and how do you do that, and what, like, a more institutional perspective on trading.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, in terms of perhaps indicators and so on, what do you tend to use on most of your
Uh,
trades?
I don't use any indicators,
Okay.
so I don't use anything.
Okay. So what are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the price action.
Okay. So what helps you take a trade, this direction or that?
So it's basically it all starts. It's difficult to explain because it all starts from what moves price in forex, and what are other things that might help. For example, it's time. So time is very important. For example, my most profitable trades, they're between New York time and 11 New York time. So when New York Stock Exchange opens, so that's when liquidity pops in. Of course, we need to be in an expansion, not in a consolidation. If we're in a consolidation, it's when the price stops expanding. So I usually kind of anticipate that. I never predict or something like that. I anticipate it because I can see the targets where the price might get on a daily time frame.
Yeah.
For example, on Euro USD right now. So we are in a consolidation since beginning of August, something like that. So usually I see that level and I expect it to go in a consolidation there. So then I just wait and I see that it retraces and it doesn't go out of that range where it
Yeah.
retraces.
So you're looking at sort of support and resistance levels rather than using indicators. Yeah. Is that right?
Let's say levels where the price reacts, because I don't use the term support and resistance. I don't believe in support and resistance. And like from what I learned, there is supply and demand. It's not real in forex, so it's not that moving the price. It's something else.
Okay. How can you explain supply and demand for me a little bit in terms of forex?
My conviction is that it's not supply and demand that moves forex. There is like a price engine, like an algorithm made by the central banks, and they use that to deliver the price to everyone. And this is how they make price. So they reprice. They do not. So it's not buying and selling pressure, because that doesn't matter. They just reprice and they move price. In fact, the algorithm does that, and it has input data from the past. If you look on the charts, there are many levels where the price reacts, and the algorithm takes those levels and it just continues to deliver the price while reaching for liquidity. So it's always looking for liquidity, meaning orders, and by orders I mean everything from pending orders to stop losses and so on. So this is like a general explanation. I I cannot give too many information about the prices because I'm also in the mentorship that I do. I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, so I don't have problems over
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Secret stuff, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so secret because the mentor that I have also has a YouTube channel where he explains a lot of
Oh,
this
okay.
stuff. But he also doesn't want us to just share.
Everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you risk getting kicked out of the
No, fair
mentorship,
enough. Yeah.
and
Who's your mentor?
it's so it's called ICT, Inner Circle
Yeah.
Trading. So in this moment, everyone who knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're very well known, are they? They have a good rep?
Yeah, he's very good. He's just one guy. So it's called ICT. His name is Michael. He's very well known. Yeah, between profitable traders, especially.
Yeah. Okay. What's the brokerage you use?
So I use IC Markets right now.
IC Markets. Yeah, I don't know that one. Is that based in the UK or Europe somewhere?
Yeah, it's from Europe. I think it's Cyprus where they have the headquarters.
Yeah, a lot of them in Cyprus, aren't they? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you ever, when you were going through these early months, did you ever think this is just too difficult, trading's not for me, and nearly, just walk away from it? Or did you
Oh
or
yes.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah. So I was thinking, look, maybe this is just a scam. So that was
yeah,
I got paranoid. I got a little paranoid
yeah,
when I
yeah,
see how difficult it is.
yeah,
I said, okay, this is just a scam, and maybe I should just not destroy my life and my career.
yeah, yeah, so it started to feel like a sort of gambling addiction after a while, after you were on the losing side, giving it all back to the
Yeah.
casino.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
was afraid
yeah,
of
yeah,
that. I was afraid of that, and it didn't make at the beginning. It didn't make sense why it was too easy to learn something from YouTube for me, for example, or from a book, and just make money because it's like you make money out of nothing, and it's so easy. You just draw a line, or
yeah.
I don't know, a
Yeah,
system.
so most of the videos and what have you, ebooks and what all that lot, that you were using in those early months or even early years, you would say was somewhat misleading, and it was only really until you hooked up with this mentor, Michael, that, things started to make more sense. Is that right? Is that fair enough? Yeah?
Yes. So it wasn't easy with him also at the beginning because it was a big shift of perspective, and he's also a little controversial. Many people say he's a liar and he's crazy, but when you put in the work, so it took me 5 months to understand what he's teaching,
Okay.
and when you put in the work and you see that the price does exactly what
He says it'll do.
it's supposed to
Yeah.
do, and when you do that on your own, that's the most important. It just becomes amazing. You're just wow.
Yeah.
It's
It's really
it's
working.
nothing like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, so how long were you training? Did you sort of back off and just do simulated training with him before going back in and actually putting your money in? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it was just like a sort of training period for you, and you'd follow his teachings, you'd try it out on a demo, and then you'd think, "Right, this is working, let me try it live." Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So I started to trade some of my money in very small lots because I still think I have much to learn from what he's teaching. And for example, I had 2 weeks ago like a 6-to-1 trade risk to reward ratio win, and it was whoa! I just got bummed out. It was great,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, okay, I need to analyze this because I don't want this to be luck, but it's also you if you don't so the mentorship that I mean it's not finished, so that's why I'm taking it easy. I just want to finish the mentorship and go in with a bigger risk, but in parallel with my money I'm also doing I have 2 demo accounts where I'm simulating the risk management and targets for a prop trading company because I want to go again into trading institutional money. So to do that, you need to present them at least a profitable demo account from a broker.
What's a typical day look like for you? Are you trading all the time at the moment? Or you do other things?
Yeah, I do this full time, so that's why I moved back into my country because I have an apartment here, so I don't have to pay rent, just small stuff,
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of pressure. So I did this actually in November last year, and then all this mess with COVID came, and I was like, oh my god, I was so lucky.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You could have been stuck for a while here. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Probably I would have been fired because I used to be a contractor in UK, so I would have been fired immediately. No, jobless and stuck
Yeah,
there.
yeah, nightmare. Yeah. And so are you up early, like, you start trading in the early hours, 7, 8 AM? Yeah, that kind of time?
Yeah, so London Open here it's around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, but I wake up at 6 o'clock because in UK, yeah, I used to wake up at 5 o'clock to go to work. But now I wake up at 6 o'clock because I have a routine that I do. I also do a lot of sports, and starting from the morning, the first thing I do when I get out of bed, even before brushing my teeth, I do a cold shower. So I've been doing this for 2 years now. So I never I probably missed maximum 10 days in 2 years. So that's the best thing that you can do. It gives you energy, a great energy. I recommend anyone to do that. It's the best thing, and it's so simple and it's right there. And then I do meditation. Immediately, I do like 10 minutes of meditation. I have like an app, a guided meditation, so I don't have to worry about researching that. That's very good for mental silence, put it like that, for focus.
Yeah, also, I imagine it helps keep the lid on stress, because trading is very
Oh yeah,
stressful,
yeah,
especially when it's going wrong, of course. Yeah.
yeah. You can have a lot of mental battles with yourself. So meditation will help with that a
Mm.
lot.
How long have you been doing that?
Oh, meditation I've been doing for 5 years probably. With yeah, with pauses sometimes. I didn't do it for maybe 2 or 3 months, but I always come back to it because it's so great.
So you do that, and then you sit down to sort of plan some trades?
Yeah. So then I sit down at my desk. I take a coffee. So I like to drink coffee, or I stand. I have a standing desk also, and I take a notebook where every day on a page I write my objectives for the following year, and I write them down like I'm already there. So I can write something like, "This is I'm at the end of the year 2021, and I made I don't know 60% from trading and something like that." And I just write a few details on how I did it while coming back to the present. So when I look at that and I read it from the end to the beginning, it's like what I have
Okay.
to do next in the
Yeah.
close
Okay.
future.
And you find that helps to, I suppose, focus. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
helps. Yeah, on the long term, it helps a lot because it's like a commitment that you do it yourself with your mind. So you write it by hand with a pen, and it's there is this connection between writing, handwriting, and your mind. It stays in your mind all day.
Yeah, it is different, isn't it, writing by hand? Of course, very few of us do anything more than write, a couple of words really, a scribble here and there. But yeah, there is a difference
Yeah,
writing by hand, isn't
exactly.
there? Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, and after that, I start to do my first analysis. So I have a small strategy that I build, and I'm working to trade that I'm using to trade. So I check like around 10 to 12 pairs every day. So I check them to see what's up.
That's quite a lot. Do you find you can sort of juggle all that lot, so to speak? It's quite a lot to keep on in your mind, isn't it? 12 pairs.
Yeah, with this strategy, with this initial strategy that I have, it's just a few checks that I have to make, and from 12 pairs, I get down to around 4 or 5 that potentially I would trade in that day. So after that, probably I will take 2 or 3 trades from those. Depends what and who moves
Yeah,
and where.
yeah. Do you like to close at the end of the day, or do you keep some running for 3 or 4 days, that kind of thing?
I take partials. So I like to take partials as soon as possible when price reaches a certain level. And if I leave something over the night, I usually like to leave it with a stop loss at break even. I leave like a runner, maybe 20-30% of the trade to run to see if maybe
Okay.
it gets somewhere else.
And have you found trading forex in the last, well, even let's say during the pandemic, have you found it more profitable or less so? More difficult possibly because of the volatility?
So during the pandemic, I I didn't find it profitable, honestly. I was also at the beginning with my training. and the influence of the mentor that I have was to not trade all the time. So because he makes, for example, he makes videos every week, like market analysis and stuff, and all the time it was do not trade. This is dangerous. This is not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a large part of trading, isn't it? Knowing when not to trade
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
having that discipline just to wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because even if we might say that currencies are controlled by central banks, like this is what they do. This is their product. This is like I don't like shoemakers control the price of shoes. It's simple. It's not a conspiracy theory or something like that. Even if they do that, you have we have the forex calendar, so they kind of follow that narrative that you see on the calendar. But in crisis periods, the price can do whatever, so they can move it very aggressively, and you can have your account wiped out. So that's it's very important. Even if you have a stop loss, like if you have a gap, and in that gap it's your stop loss, like the the platform that you use will not see your stop loss, and it will just go through your account and maybe on negative, and you have to give that money to your broker after that. At least in UK or in USA, I know there is this law. So that's why it's very dangerous. It's not a good idea to trade if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you really need to have so many things aligned, don't you, really, to if you're sensible or
Yeah,
experienced.
like we seen we yeah, exactly. So we have seen that in the past, like the Euro Swiss flash crash and the dollar yen flash crash, like in just a matter of, I don't know, it was like 5 minutes, like it crashed a lot, like it can wipe out 2 times an account
Yeah.
if you had
Yeah.
traded there. Yeah, who trades forex knows what I'm talking about. This is very popular, the Euro Swiss.
Do you keep a very tight stop loss, or where do you if you're not using indicators and support levels and so on, where do you know where to put your stop loss?
So one of my favorite entries, it's something that I can call a break in market structure. So usually a break in market structure has a swing under it. So I'm trying to put a stop loss under that swing. And sometimes we have a level, it's like a candle in there that uh, it represents the break in market structure. So I can keep my stop
Yeah.
loss under that candle. But it depends a lot on what is it reaching for, what's the price reaching for, what I'm anticipating it will get to.
What helps you anticipate that reach, if you like?
Well, for example, the most probable reach, it's like what I can call a relative equal highs or a relative equal lows. So that's acts like a almost like a magnet for price. If you're on how can I say it? You know when they say to sell high
Yeah.
and buy low. So that's what banks usually do, because it's like a premium and discount. It's like you wanna sell at a premium and buy at a
Yeah.
discount.
Yeah.
That's normal for them. So if you have relative equal highs and you're at under the lows of the previous day, for example, or you're going there, you can anticipate that the price will reverse after it goes under the previous day lows, and it will reach for those equal highs, because there is liquidity there. There are stop losses there. There are pending orders. Basically, there are people that want to trade there, and the algorithms are going to reach for that to give them to pair the orders that are in active with the orders that are waiting, because the algorithms do not know what's if it's a stop loss there or a pending order. It's just orders. It's just liquidity. It just goes there. It knows there is something there.
Okay, and you find that you can identify where those zones are through your teaching. You've found that you can spot a zone where, for example, there are gonna be more orders to sell or
Yeah,
buy.
yeah, you can see them all the times. you can see them all the time. So relative equal highs or equal lows. It's especially daily
Yeah, it's what you
equal
use.
highs
Is
and
it daily
daily.
charts principally?
Yeah, you use those. You use those daily lows or highs. So you note them on your daily chart, but then you go on the intraday time frame. So you go on the 15 minutes time frame or on the
Yeah,
1 hour time
to get
frame.
an entry point or something. Yeah,
Yes, something like that. But there are many possibilities and uh, levels where the price might react and might want to reach. And relative equal highs or lows are not there all the time. So, but this is the, let's say, the best one. And if somebody, I don't know, somebody wants to go on the his YouTube channel on Inner Circle Trading YouTube channel, they can see there's some free videos with this stuff. So I'm not giving anything from the mentorship,
yeah,
but it's not. I'm not supposed to do that. But he has a lot of free stuff for people
yeah. Okay,
that is very very good.
yeah. People should check that out. Yeah, sounds quite different, really, from a lot of what's out there. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's. Whew, I've been through that.
very
I've been through
eye
all
opening.
the previous stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Is the fun aspect of trading still there if you're trading, 12 hours a day or whatever it is?
Well, it's gonna get to you. So
Yeah.
if you, I've been doing that. So I've been working a lot during the pandemic, and it's been. I had difficult days when I basically had like one day. I remember I basically had a mental breakdown, so I
Hmm.
couldn't get near my computer for around 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't look at it.
Yeah. Do you find some of that sort of intense pressure and, mental, burnout, if you like, is partly of course, it's partly the stress and making losses and getting it wrong, but is it also partly because you feel you're very much on your own dealing with it? I mean, because it is quite unless you're working for one of the big institutions, when obviously you've got colleagues around you, as a trader from home, it's quite isolating, isn't it? So you're spending many hours on it, and you're spending many hours on your own. How do your family or girlfriends or significant other manage your passion obsession? How do they deal with it?
Well, so well, I just have a girlfriend, so I'm not married or something, and well, we just knew each other like 2 months ago. So it's not in that period I was single. I was uh, I was pretty lonely, but I've been okay with it because I wanted to do that. So I wanted to just be left alone to work,
Yeah,
and so I think the best thing that I also partially did is to not talk about this with anyone. So it's best to not say to anyone what you're doing. Like, of course, people are going to see and ask you maybe, but just be short about it. Like, don't. This is what I did. So I'm just learning. I'm doing this course. I'm learning. I'm doing analysis and stuff. And I think that's the best thing to do because it's something that is very difficult to discuss with others, and it's also can get very boring. So while when I was going out, I wasn't discussing about this anywhere. Only if somebody insisted about something, I would, but I wouldn't bring it up like, "Hey, I did something on GBP USD today" or something like that.
yeah.
Never. And with my girlfriend is the same. It's like she has seen the charts and was like, "Jesus Christ, that's gross. What's that?"
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for one thing, you soon learn that, even if you have a good day, you shouldn't talk about it because tomorrow might be a bad day, and then, people listening to you are hearing the good news and the bad news and the good news and the bad news, and they they soon
Oh yeah,
start to think you're crazy. This is going around in circles. Yeah.
yeah. You look like a
A
cartoon
gambler.
to
Yeah.
them probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the technical side of it is, yeah, mostly, too difficult to get your head around, really. Yeah, for most people.
yeah. It's also it can be very boring for
Yeah,
other
I'm sure.
people,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's why you need to say this story like in a different way than what you are actually doing, because that's your private stuff. And the thing is that now it's important in trading to be sociable. That's a thing that I do on my own, so I'm proud of that. I've been very sociable, so I was actively looking for profitable traders online because I wanted to see with my own eyes. And if you may, I might say something, some recommendation about this, because there is a very dangerous world out there that can scam you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was
Right.
actively looking for traders, profitable traders, because I have never seen in my life a profitable trader, like a guy that, or a woman that does money, like with proof,
Yeah,
not with photoshopped screenshots and
yeah, yeah. Hiring a
rented,
fast car for the
yeah,
shoot,
and
yeah, or whatever.
Lamborghinis and all
Yeah,
that stuff,
yeah, yeah,
or with especially the one that you see a lot today. It's the rented MetaTrader 4 server, where you can easily fake trades and look them like they're real. Like you can record your screen, and it will look like you are profitable. But that's
yeah. I've
many
heard of
people
that.
have
Yeah,
a, yeah.
yeah. Very
And the
scary,
best
really.
thing, like so from the social part, I found traders right here in Romania. Like I have some friends from Bucharest that they also do the same course. So just looking on groups on Telegram, there's a lot out there. If you search for groups, there are a lot of groups.
Yeah,
And I met them. They're from Bucharest. I live like 300 kilometers from Bucharest, from the capital of Romania. And there is a girl that she's very profitable. So she showed me a lot of stuff. She's been very helpful. And I met those other two guys. I have those other two guys that work from Bucharest. Shout out to John and Eugene. And I met them in Bucharest. We discussed. So it's important to have friends or make friends that they trade
yeah,
close to what you trade, to what you do.
yeah. And that the woman you referred to, does she use a similar kind of system as you? Does she relate to that? Yeah, she
Yes,
does. Okay,
yeah, she made the same mentorship
okay.
as I do. She's a little more advanced in that mentorship. And I also found groups. So right now I found two groups on Telegrams where there are people that only trade this stuff, and they are very disciplined and civilized. So no scamming allowed, no advertising for something else, like no hate, nothing. It just, if you have something to say it. If not, yeah, exactly. So you can find those. You will go to all the bad stuff, but anyone can find this, and that's very helpful. The social part of it,
Yeah, yeah,
very important.
yeah. And so you actually get to meet, in spite of the pandemic, you managed to meet one or two of these people because they're local, are they?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
So some of
occasionally.
them,
Yeah,
yeah, and like we still do Zoom meetings weekly or every 2 weeks, or we just communicate through vocal messages on Telegram and give like we hold like an accountability to each other, and we say, okay, what did you do in the last 3 days? I say, hey, I had a few trades there, here and there, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. Last question. Having been through the whole trading experience from struggling to, well, doing quite well, shall we say, what advice could you give a novice trader or a losing trader, i.e., a trader in a losing streak, perhaps?
Oof, so the first advice is to be skeptic about what you see, and backtest. So if you find something, I don't know if you're into indicators or patterns or whatever you read, like losing time is as maybe worse than losing money for me. So if you have to read like a book that have 5,000 pages, uh, maybe it's better to backtest some of that stuff to see if it really works, and to backtest it 3 times to make sure you go over your biases, because we have a lot of biases as human
Yeah,
beings. So it took me a lot of time to of backtesting to get rid of that. And if you get a mentor, I think the most important thing is to ask him for evidence that, if you allow me to use this word, no bullshit. I mean, no screenshots. I can falsify a screenshot like in 10 minutes those days. Again, with the rented MT4 traders, like my mentor, for example, records himself while doing trading on a trading view, which everyone knows trading view. You cannot fake that. So with a demo account from TradingView, which paper trading account that they have there. So he just records his screen and he writes messages using the tools from the TradingView platform. So you cannot falsify that. And he also anticipates a price level where the price will get to, and he did that several times, many times. So everyone should ask this to their guru, because many people say they are profitable, but they're not. So they're making money from the courses. And for example, I'm getting profitable. I have big plans for the future. And my interest in teaching someone or becoming a mentor, it goes down all the time. So if you become profitable, and I know profitable people in trading that have a lot of money, so they have close to zero interest in doing mentorship or courses. So that's
Yeah.
very interesting
Okay.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to me, Alex. It's been very interesting, and hope you carry on being
It's my
profitable.
pleasure.
Yeah. Good. All right.
Thank you for inviting me.
You've been listening to A Trader's Life with me, Nicholas Penrake, and my guest, Alex Bostan. Catch you later.